Hey everyone, so Check here. Today we're going to be doing our very own mapping video, I guess. So in this scenario, we were going to be having um West Taiwan invading normal Taiwan. So without anything else being said, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so China is going to be the China's going to be shown by the color of red, and I really don't want to have to fill this in. My God. Anyways, so basically, the way this is gonna go with the colors is that the red will be used to symbolize attackers, which is one team that started the war, and blue will be used as the one that's being declared war at, and you know, so there's gonna be that whole team. I don't freaking I don't like filling this in. I don't even care. Anyway, so yeah, let's make this a little bit thinner, and here we go. So it finally starts with China declaring war on Taiwan. So if we go down here, so let's get this dark. So they have naval superiority right here, but the thing is, Taiwan landmines the naval thing. So and they also do a good amount of damage to the Chinese mainland. So they start having a small little push into here. And Hong Kong decides to start a rebellion. This also inspires Tibet, which is also currently trying to get Chinese independence, and about this whole area unites against China. So as you can see, this is what we have so far. I know this is kind of territories, but I really don't care. Next countries to join in is a invasion into North Korea by South Korea. So let's just quickly color that in real quick. Actually, let's just show. Well, it's gonna be red. Let's just make it white. Cause screw it. Japan also decides to join in on the side of the blue team against the white team. This sounds political. Anyways, so basically, yeah, Japan said, hey, let's make a new conquest. Does Japan own this? I don't think so. No. So obviously this whole thing gets going now, and the Philippines is starting to consider if they should join in. Um, Pakistan also decides to join in, and they decide to declare war on all these other countries and stuff on the side of China. So then after the whole naval thing is done, China is again being pushed back by Taiwan, and Hong Kong decides to make a book for it, and so they can get to Taiwan, and with their power, they crush this whole area in China. But this victory is not forever lost, as China just starts to push in quite a little bit. Also, by the way, I'm not going to be using bombs. I might be using like tactical nukes, maybe. Um, China was ready for Tibet's little revolution, whatever. So they get a nice little push in, and they decide to bolt down here to try to bulge through and split it in two. Um, then Vietnam decides to declare war on China. So, right here, Vietnam starts making their push into Chinese territory, and China was not ready for this, and they're kind of terrified because they don't want to have to lose to a pack of discount trees. So anyway, so yeah, this whole ordeal causes Laos and Cambodia to declare war on Vietnam, but not any other country because they're just sitting here. Although Vietnam was also ready for this, and they make a big push into Cambodia, and also one into Laos. um Russia decides to sit this one out, and while everyone's occupied, they're kind of just gonna do their thing in Ukraine, which I don't know how it's gonna play out. I don't know, man. Chinese troops arrive in the Koreas, and they do a little pushback. It looks like a return repeat of the Korean War is coming until Japanese troops decide to, whilst in a very small amount, just like the Hundred Years' War with Great Britain, make an insane advance through, and they take Pyongyang, which is somewhere around here. But this defense is short lived, and they push back. But they were able to capture Pyongyang, which leads to the surrender of North Korea. So now one white team member is knocked out, just a couple more to go. Mongolia is very split on where they should join in. So right now they're just gonna help China with some supplies. They're not going to join into the war. China makes an attempt to land in Taiwan, but they're quickly pushed right back. And because they had to go over here, Taiwan and Hong Kong and the Japanese and the Koreans decide to try to do a massive push and get into Beijing. China is really starting to hurt, but whilst originally having a setback, they're starting to have more success in Tibet, making the bulge and trying to split it in two. Now let's go back down to Vietnam, to the Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Vietnam successfully splits Cambodia in two, and they also split Laos in two. Cambodia surrenders, but Laos does not. So now we have this territory, and it looks like it's just going to be a repeat of the French colony. They also make a small landing right here in a Chinese island, and they take over, just some of these islands. All the islands from China are taken from them because they're just easy to get, and China doesn't really care about them. But with this whole focus on Cambodia and Laos, China was able to make a small push into Vietnam, and get back some of their territories. So as we can see right here, Pakistani troops have been sent. Their top troops have been sent over to crush Taiwan and Afghanistan. I forgot to mention this, but they also joined the war. So all these troops are being sent in so they can crush Taiwan and Hong Kong. They Taiwan and Hong Kong get to Beijing, which is like somewhere around here. I don't even know. So they finally get here, and they have a massive fight. China and Pakistan and Afghanistan is just barely able to push them down, though, and it has a great loss of life. They then decide to nuke Taiwan right here with a tactical nuke. They sent in two others, but they were shot down. Korea gets nuked. They sent two to Nagasaki and Hiroshima, but it only landed on Nagasaki, which I think is right there. They also decide, and also all four of their tactical nukes worked onto Vietnam, and the cities are reduced to rubble. This certainly, whilst China thought this would be more put down the determination of the blue team, it actually does the opposite. And then with very small troops, Hong Kong and Taiwan decide to split up to encircle Beijing, which they are doing somewhat successfully. Although China is able to take out quite a bit of Hong Kong's encircle movement, and they also take out some other encircling movements from right here. But it's not like enough. Tibet is still doing Tibet things and just getting wiped out. Very sad. Although they were able to make a pretty good push into Chinese territory, but they were very quickly split and went into three parts. So as we can see here, Vietnam decides to make a push up here, and they decide to try to book it over here so they can meet up with Hong Kong troops. And this is successful, so they launch another offensive. China was ready for this, however, and they make a front line right here. But in order to combat this, they decide to have some more smaller armies go up here and try to, just encircle this part and just, wipe it out, which, who knows. So also by the way, this island, from China. It is not captured, it is defended, and they even make a small push into Vietnam. Dang it, good God. So after the small push into Vietnam, the war is in a bit of a stalemate right now. No one really knows what to do, and but the Philippines, they finally decide to declare war on China. It's going to give a huge help over to the blue team. I'm just gonna call this all in because they basically own all this. I don't care because I'm lazy. The Philippines have a landing, and they're able to push back into here. China decides to once again have a nuke, but this time they use an atom bomb. Well, not really an atom bomb. I'd say more of a Fat Man bomb. So they drop it right on the Philippines, and it has a great loss of life. Seeing this, it provokes the United States into joining the war because tensions have already been rising up against China. I'm just gonna fill that in like that because I'm lazy. They're good enough. I don't know. So, and then with this, bombings over Japanese cities reached devastating levels. So, and a lot of the cities are turned to rubble. And then USA decides to drop a nuke onto not Beijing, because then it would be very hard to take the capital, but they launch it onto Nanking. Now this is actually it's a controlled hydrogen bomb, so it gets around all of these territories, and they launched it like this so it wouldn't reach any of the friendly countries. So, and the radiation spreads out a little something like this. So, and Beijing is still right here. China knows this isn't going too well, so this decide to launch one big final attack, which you will see in the next video. Peace.